Good evening, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to PatFacts. Patrick here, Pat on your back, personal fitness, where we aim to help our clients become operationally fit. Hey, Bonnie, welcome in. Good to see you. First one here. You get a gold star in your chart, being the first one here. Operationally fit to fight the daily battles that life brings you. And speaking of fighting the daily battles that life hands you, I just wanted to start off with a quick hello and good wishes to my friends and family back home in Nova Scotia, everyone on the East Coast, Atlantic provinces, Newfoundland, Quebec, along the East Coast of the US as well. Anyone impacted by Hurricane Fiona that went through a few days ago. I wanted to send my thoughts and my well wishes and my positivity pandemic to you guys. And I know from what I've seen, you probably don't need it because you're putting that forward anyway. But I want to send it. I want to send out my all my best to you guys, and hope you're doing well. And those that are getting ready, if you haven't been already, dealing with Ian, who's coming up the coast or through Florida and up. It's that time of year, I guess, hurricane season. So make sure you're prepared. Have your supplies in order. If you're an East Coaster, you've got your storm chips ready, I'm sure. Hey, Natty, welcome in. Make sure you have your supplies, have everything you need, be prepared, and bunker down and build through this. And I wanted to, again, send well wishes and positivity pandemic so everyone can send your thoughts and encouragement to those dealing with, again, Hurricane Fiona, and those maybe about to deal with Hurricane Ian and any storms and things that are going on. But again, just seeing that resiliency of the Maritimers, the East Coasters, I see that a little more than some of the other places, just because I'm from there. Hey, Ricardo, thanks for joining us. I'm from there originally, so I'm connected to the news outlets there. I have family members still out there, and friends and colleagues. So I've seen it firsthand, and it reminded me even back to 9/11 when, although we weren't impacted directly, the hearts opened up of Newfoundlanders, Nova Scotians, anyone on the East Coast, welcoming stranded travelers into their homes and making sure that they were well taken care of. And you can see and hear from the posts that that's what's going on for each other out east. Seeing on the social media where you can mark yourself safe from the hurricane on Facebook, looking into that kind of area, I guess, of Facebook, and seeing all the comments of, I'm in this location, I have power back, if someone needs something, come over, or I've got some extra food if someone needs it, come over, I've got space in my freezer if you need to bring things over to keep your food from spoiling. So many of those posts, if you need a warm shower or a place just to get away for a bit, so many of those posts coming through from each other, and it's so heartwarming to see that, and so uplifting to see that as well. And really, it's the way ideally we all should be, willing to help each other and work together to get through some of these difficult times. So I just thought it was a great reminder that, hey, Chico, welcome in. We've talked before, I think it was more of in a winter episode, but kind of weathering the storm today, weathering the storm, working through this. And some of us tuning in and catching us are literally trying to weather the storm or work past the storm. The storm has passed. Fortunately, hit some very hard, and some got lucky and didn't have too much damage from that. But now the storm has passed. It's time to move on. It's time to pick ourselves back up and work forward, and trying to look at some of the different examples of that and apply them to your life. Hopefully it's not as severe as what happened out east and in Quebec and other areas. And again, hopefully all those that were impacted are doing okay and are moving forward. But let's try to apply that resiliency and that strength and that determination and that kindness to maybe those that are around us that need help. Maybe someone around you was hit harder by a life situation, by maybe something at work that didn't impact you so much. Maybe it's really impacting them. Maybe it's having a bigger effect on them. Maybe someone was let go from the company that maybe you knew or were acquaintances with, but maybe Betty or Bob worked directly with them. Maybe that's impacting them in a hard way. Maybe their workload is increasing. Maybe their stress levels are going to go up. Plus, they're grieving and losing their colleague, their friend, their coworker that's there with them. There's a lot of different things we have to go through. Maybe there's trouble with, again, hey, Dan, welcome in. Good to see you, buddy. Maybe there's health issues people have. Maybe there's personal problems people are going through, maybe professionally. Maybe it's just someone, we talk here about goal setting and trying to work towards that big goal that we have set for us each year. Maybe there's roadblocks, maybe there's hurdles that they've come across. Maybe that's really has them down. So let's try to help build them up. Let's be there to support them. Let's take your maybe experience, maybe your good fortune, luck, whatever you want to call it, that maybe things aren't impacting you as much. And then let's take some of that energy that we have in our tank and share it with those ones and be there for them and lift each other up. And that's what we really need to be doing just in general. But again, if there is something a little more severe going on, whether it's natural disaster kind of related, weather related, an actual storm or event, or again, things going on in your life or someone else's life, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of what's going on. Similarly to thinking of a storm coming in, we don't want to always be paranoid about the storm and always live in a storm bunker or whatever the case is, but we want to be aware of our surroundings and know what's going on. Maybe know where the big trees are that maybe could be susceptible to the strong winds of a hurricane. Maybe we need to put away things. I know, talking to my mom, she had putting away the patio furniture. She has dog agility training equipment that had to be tied up and put together and put somewhere safe as much as possible. So we need to kind of, hey, Randy, good evening. We need to be aware of our surroundings and what's there and what could be impacted by us. And that's where I sort of, if you've been with me, I talked about my time in Afghanistan. That was one of the points I mentioned that I learned there that I applied to the pandemic when it started, was being alert, being aware, but don't dwell on things. We can't be paranoid and dwell. Is that a storm? Is that wind? What's going to happen? But we need to be aware of what's going on. We need to listen to the weather. We need to know what's coming up. And same thing with in your life. You need to be aware of what's going on. You need to be aware of big events coming up. We've talked about modifying your schedules and your workouts to kind of accommodate some of these maybe busy times that you have, and then have a little more of a regular routine or more energy or more intense kind of goal work when you have a little more time where things aren't quite as hectic for you, rather than just giving them up. That's being aware and looking ahead and forecasting, just like a forecaster gives you the details of an impending approaching storm. You want to forecast maybe how busy you'll be, or certain events that might pop up, or obstacles that might pop up and be in the way, and how you can work through those or around those or over those, whatever the case may be. So we want to again take that life lesson and not to make light of what happened or what people are going through. I know people are lost homes and even lost some lives and things. So I don't want to make light of the situation, but I think it can be a very good learning tool. And seeing the example of the resiliency of the people that just went through Fiona in multiple places, who are now, the storm has passed. We always hear and say here sometimes, this too shall pass. We'll get through this. The storm has passed. Now it's time for cleanup. It's time for restructure. It's time for rebuilding. It's time for maybe new planning to make sure things are better the next time. The last time a storm hit out in Nova Scotia, cell service went down, and the province guaranteed that wouldn't happen. We're going to put money in and change infrastructure and make sure that cell service stays going for you after the storm. Very weak service. And I know if there's damages to towers and high volume of people trying to call out and receive calls about whether they're safe or not, it's going to overload the network. So they didn't quite maybe have a foolproof plan to make sure that happened. So now they need to go back to the drawing board. Okay, what do we do? What worked? What didn't work? We tried these steps. We still lost. Hey, Kimmy, welcome in. We still lost our service, or went down quite a bit. What can we do to make sure our signals stay strong? People can call for help if they need to, and make sure that they're able to use their phones and have that line. Most people now typically don't have landlines. It's all cell phones. So we rely on those services to stay intact. Much of you here in Ontario, if you're with, or nationwide, I believe, if you're with Rogers a few weeks ago, you lost cell service and couldn't call 911 or do anything. Now they're working with the other phone companies to put a plan in place. Again, that storm passed, they're reevaluating. Now they're trying to make better plans to make sure that that service stays up so people can get emergency services if it's needed in the event of something like a system going down, or again, a bit of a natural disaster or a weather event where we need to be able to get emergency services to us in a matter of time. And those seconds, those minutes really add up and matter. So again, that's another option and another example of how we take some of these difficult, challenging events and learn from them, both from what worked, what didn't work, and then again, looking to examples from other people and using the kind of the motivation, the inspiration, the role modeling that some are doing and bringing that into our lives. And for some of us, it could be a matter of changing our perspective. Maybe you're having a bad week and work's busy and you had a difficult client who was kind of a jerk to you on the phone, wouldn't work with you, whatever, but you didn't lose your house in a hurricane, or you didn't have your basement flooded from a storm, or your power wasn't knocked out, or old trees that were in your property for years weren't knocked down and didn't damage anything. It's all about perspective. Usually typically there's someone going through a little more than you are, especially in a day-to-day sort of thing. So, and again, as I mentioned, have mentioned before, that's what I really got from Afghanistan as well, was putting things in perspective and realizing that little day-to-day trivial things weren't really worth getting upset about. I try not to sweat the small stuff, and I know in certain circumstances it's good to sweat the small details and know them, but on a day-to-day basis, when something kind of trivial or something small goes wrong, I try not to get too upset about it and uptight about it, and deal with it as best I can, because someone somewhere is probably dealing with something a lot worse than what I'm trying to deal with here in my sheltered house and my job and my healthy family. So again, look for these examples, look for good perspective, and look for ways to help, whether it's people who are dealing with the severity of Hurricane Fiona and the damage that it caused. Maybe you can donate a bit of time or resources to help some of those families, or the organizations that are helping the families with this. Or again, maybe it's someone here that is just going through a tough time. Maybe their storm is still ongoing, or their storm has just passed. How can you help them rebuild and grow and get past it and start to move forward and get through that tough time and get through that sunny weather, that clearing of the skies, that clearing of the tension and pressure around them? How can we move forward with that? Maybe you can be that support for them, that shoulder to cry on, that arm around their shoulder, some way to help them up and help them move forward. Try to look at ways where you can help other people and be that example. Sometimes I feel like we get a little too caught up in the negativity, in the day-to-day stuff of, look at this person falling down on their face, and look at this funny thing, and look at this idiot doing silly things. Even I find our like sports channels, social media are sharing just random goofy things that either the people don't need the attention, or there's no reason to share it. It's at someone's humiliation for something they're doing. There's a time to pick and choose, and I feel like there's a little too much of that and not enough of the uplifting stories or the feel-good moments that are out there as well, because those don't get the clicks or the likes or the views on the newscast, which really we need to be able to be in charge of that, and we need to decide what to watch and what to click on and what to share or repost or regenerate. Because if we keep sharing it and reposting it, that just keeps it going. And then people are going to see, well, this gets shared a lot, this gets viewed a lot. That's what we need to post. That's what we need to put out as content. When really we should be sharing the feel-good stories of the people in the East Coast offering their homes to those who have been impacted by the storm when they weren't as impacted as much. The people here who are offering services and finances and resources and help to those who need it in other provinces and states and countries. those are the things we should be talking about. And those are the things I challenge you that if you find, share those. Try not to share too many of the humiliating maybe posts through the day. And again, sometimes the things are good for a little joke or a laugh, but really think about what it is and the content of it that you're posting through to, again, help get that goodness out in the atmosphere. We call it our positivity pandemic, sharing positive energy. If I share an uplifting post with you that I found, or hopefully this is some uplifting material for you as well, that you can share with someone or talk to someone about, then that spreads positivity. That shares that positive energy around. And we want that to grow and expand and be the norm. And then again, if you want to have a laugh at a blooper tape or something once in a while, again, there's a time and a place. But there's certain things I find that are just a little too silly when we should be focusing more on the goodness that's going around us and the examples of that, and having that out there for other people and kids and anyone to see and hopefully be inspired from and see as the example of what they could be doing to help others and maybe should be doing to help others as well. I just want to hop in our chat here. Natty says, gratitude is a must for sure. Gratitude is definitely so important for ourselves, but also towards others. We always want to be practicing that gratitude and sharing it with people. We want to make sure they know that they're appreciated for what they're doing. And again, if they need help, give them that help, give them that assistance. Make sure that they know that people are watching out for them, are caring for them, are there if they need them. Because it's nice to have that support system around you, even if you don't need it. Sometimes just knowing it's there can make a big difference for someone to have that. That's common with fitness. If you've ever been in the weight room and you give someone a spot or someone gives you a spot, 9 times out of 10, that person doesn't touch the weight or the barbell or anything, because just knowing they're there gives you a little more confidence. And then that lets you perform a little better. So sometimes that security can make a big difference for you. And same thing of just showing someone that you care about them and that gratitude back and forth, that can make a big difference in someone having confidence to maybe do something, or to know they can take a little chance, or to know that they can do whatever it is that needs to get done right now because you're there to help them, or you're there if they need to vent, or whatever the case is. So gratitude definitely is a must. Gratitude towards yourself, gratitude towards friends and family, yes, but also gratitude towards strangers, people you interact with that maybe you don't know, but they're helping you at a store, they're serving you at a restaurant, they're talking to you on the phone for customer service, whatever it is. Express that gratitude, and that can make a big difference for them as well. And definitely Bonnie ties in nicely to that. Kindness is free, spread it around. It definitely is something free and easy to share with those around us. I heard on the radio the other morning, the radio host was out for breakfast with her mom. Someone paid for their meal, so she took a peek around. She saw a colleague that some of you would know, actually, if you're watching, DJ Buddha, who works for the station as well. So she bought his breakfast and paid for his. And then he saw her later and said, hey, someone bought my breakfast. I bought someone else's breakfast. Kindness. Now, obviously, they're buying breakfast, so there's a fee with that, but the act of it was free. It's kind. And even just saying hello, being polite to people, it's free, and it's easy to spread it around. And we need to spread more of it around. Because unfortunately, there's not quite enough of it floating out there in the universe right now. There's so much heaviness and darkness and negativity. We need to combat it with light, which is kindness and love. So kindness is free. Spread it around. Again, a nice little mantra or an alarm on your phone to have you maybe remind you during the day to stay calm, stay kind. If you're in maybe a high stress situation, if you're in a high stress work environment, remember, kindness is free. Spread it around. Something that you can maybe, again, pop up, have on we all love our Post-it notes we learned a few weeks ago. Maybe it's on your Post-it note on your computer, so you can see that reminder, so you're kind to people and spreading it around. Again, spreading kindness around is part of the positivity pandemic. If I share kindness with you, you'll feel good, you'll feel happy, you're probably more likely, even if it's not intentional, subconsciously, you'll be more kind to someone else, or you'll share that kindness with those around you. And then they'll feel better, more kind, and they'll want to pass it on. It's that paying forward mentality, an idea, but it's not necessarily doing a task for someone or paying for something or spending money. It's just being kind. And the act of kindness is up for you. And definitely, and the tie-in with this, Natty and I think Nads and Bonnie are, I think they're sitting together sharing quotes or something. Nad says, smiles can change someone's day big time. So it's something simple. Working in gyms, working the morning shift as gyms open, you get the 6 a.m.ers coming in and sometimes still groggy and half asleep. Maybe they're not super excited to be there, but they're there because that's the time they can work out and they know that'll set them up for a strong day. I always enjoyed having a nice big smile and giving them a nice big warm hello or good morning as they came in. And usually that would cheer them up or annoy them a little bit. But then when they realized they were so annoyed, they would kind of snap out of it. So Squishes Me, El Canning, welcome in. So I always try to greet those people with a big smile. Smile can change someone's day. Again, at the store, now that I have no mask on, and even when I did, I made sure to smile at people. So they felt welcome, they felt warm, they felt received. Maybe it cheers them up. If I can throw in a little dig, a little joke, a little kind of sarcasm to them, and then I'll throw that in to try to cheer them up or brighten their day or make them smile or laugh. Maybe they're a little upset. Maybe they're still uncomfortable being out in public because of what's going on. And to be at a grocery store with all the people, maybe they're still a little uncomfortable. So I try to put some people at ease. And for some, again, if they're dealing with maybe the last colleague that dealt with them wasn't in a good mood, or maybe the customer was a little upset or not good to deal with to a colleague of mine. Again, I try to share positivity. I try to laugh. I try to make little jokes. I try to smile. I try to make sure that people hopefully can diffuse some of those situations and feel good about themselves and be happy to be where it is that they're at. So then they can be more present. They can be kind. They can smile. Compliments. And then he says, compliments can change someone's day for sure. Frown is harder than a smile. Definitely, Bonnie, so true. And smiling burns more calories. So those of you that are calorie counting, a smile takes more muscles. So you burn more calories than you do. And typically a smile will lead to a bit of laughter. Laughing burns calories too. Those abs fire up and you burn those extra calories. So if you needed even more a reason to smile and to laugh, which hopefully you didn't, but if you're calorie counting, there's some more reasons for you as well. And Nads is all out tonight. She even gave examples of compliments in case we weren't sure. Nice shoes, nice hair color, you smell nice, something like that. Just to have a nice day. Thank you so much for being here. There's people that shop in my store and they say, can you help me? And I'll say, well, I'll give it a try. Or do you work here? And I'll say something, well, last time I checked, I do. Just certain things to kind of break the ice and kind of almost catch them off guard with a little different comment and gets a little smile and a laugh. And again, it just kind of makes people, even if it's just for a few minutes or seconds, have a little bit of a break from the stress and the heaviness and the negativity that's going on in the world right now. And again, so many of us need that and can benefit from that. Just a few seconds break can really reset someone's day. Yeah. A lot of people are probably saying this, Nat. Nat said, man, I should be skinny. I'm always smiling and laughing. True, but you have a strong, like Bonnie says, strong core there. Smile is great for the core, definitely. Smiling and laughing, great for our core, great for calories, great for our mental health, which again, if we're taking care of ourselves mentally and de-stressing, maybe we're working out more. Maybe we're more likely to get to the gym or go for that walk or get on the bike or log into that virtual workout program or do some stretching or take our kids out to play. Whatever the case is, if we're feeling good and happy and we've weathered the storm and we're helping those around us, or maybe even harder to do is accept the help from those that are offering it, then we are in a better place. We feel better. Again, we're more likely to stick with what we're doing or be into that routine and get those things going that we need to get going. Natty says, when I volunteered at the hospital, something as small as your purse is beautiful changed their day for sure. Same thing in the store. I'll see people and say, oh, I love that's a cool hat, or I like your shoes. Or if I see someone with a sports team on that I like, I'll say, hey, nice shirt. Where'd you get that? And again, just break the ice, kind of almost humanize people as well and get them back into that mode of clearing the fog. Sometimes we get so dazed over if I got to go to the store and I got to do this and I got to get this done and do this thing. Or maybe someone at the hospital, like Natty's example, maybe they're going through something. I got to go through treatments, or my family's here for this, or I got a surgery coming up, or a procedure I'm worried about. Something like, oh, your purse is beautiful, or a nice hat, or where'd you get those shoes? Something like that could really make their day. And again, just give them that little bit of a break from the stress and the anxiety that they're going through. And that can make a big difference for them, and help them maybe think a little more clearly or feel a little better. And definitely, Natty, people need that little bit of light sometimes, for sure. If you've been here with us for a while, you'll know that I'm a big fan of, it's hard to see him, but it's Todd Durkin, one of my fitness mentors. And he always says, be a lighthouse, be that light. We've shared it here. That's kind of where Positivity Pandemic spawned from, is his expression that he saw from an author about being a lighthouse. The lighthouse has light in it. And when we share that light, it guides ships out of the darkness, or it protects them from dangers in the darkness. If they go toward the light of the lighthouse, they stay safe. And we can be that way too. We can be that lighthouse. That's, again, an example of the Positivity Pandemic. If we're the light, we're the positive energy exuding out, then that can hopefully bring people in and guide them toward that light and away from the darkness and the heaviness that's going on. And again, even if it's just for a slight moment where you say, hey, nice hat, or where did you get those shoes? Or they'll come by with little kids, and we'll say hi to the little kid as they go through on their card or something. Sometimes just little things like that. And then maybe it gives the mom or dad a little second to really look at that thing they're trying to look at on the shelf, because the baby's not crying, or the boy's not asking for a car or Hot Wheels or something. Gives them that break. And then the kids get that nice interaction too, because we all know kids are very resilient, but they go through a lot. Especially the last few years, as far as stress and different things going. So I think I gave the example a while ago, but when this, I don't know if you can start to see it in the spot. When I first got this hat, I wore it downtown Barrie, and I saw a little boy wearing a hat. And just out of the blue, I said, hey, man, nice hat. And his face lit up like I had given him $1 million. And I had no idea who he was or what he was going through. I just saw a kid wearing a Raptors hat, and I said, hey, buddy, nice hat. And made his day. It was crazy how much he lit up. And that wasn't even my intent. I just saw someone in a Raptors hat and thought, that's fun. And I'll just say hi to this little guy. So little things can go a big way and make a big difference in someone's life. So again, thinking of what everyone has gone through, the hardships that people have gone through on the East Coast these last few days with the hurricane going through, and now seeing how resilient they're being, how kind they're still being, how helpful they're being, how sometimes stubborn they're being to stay where they are and rebuild and be in that spot and deal with it. Again, not to make light of it, but I think we can definitely learn from it and take energy from it and inspiration from it, and know that we can apply that same mentality to the storms that we have going on in our life, no matter how large or small they may be. We can apply that to ourselves to, again, work through the storms. Let it work through it, bunker down if we need to as it goes overhead, or make arrangements beforehand to be prepared for the storm as best we can. Spicy, saucy, sweet, welcome in. Nice to see everyone tuning in tonight. We can, again, look at that forecast and prepare for the events that are coming as best we can. And then after the fact, we revisit our plans. Was I prepared enough? Did I have the right supplies and the resources that I needed for the actual storm, or the storm in your life? Did I make the adjustments to my schedule I needed? Did I have the plans in place at work? Did I have the proper gym membership? Did I have the right schedule set up? Did I make the proper preparations to go through the storm that I had to go through? And again, thinking of a storm as sort of a life event or a hurdle that you have to go through. We can really use these life examples to prepare us. As I mentioned earlier, I used Afghanistan, not knowing, because I went there in 2006, July of 2006. So not knowing in March of 2020 that we'd be locked down because of a pandemic. But I took from that, I could think of similarities to some of the restrictions I had there, and the way we had to get by, and the things we had to do, and some of the attitudes and preparation and the systems we put in place to help us get through the 6 months. I brought some of that into the pandemic, and I felt that the pandemic and the restrictions and isolations didn't affect me as much because I had been there. I was used to it. And then that's when I started doing PatFacts and trying to share some of that positivity pandemic to help you guys get through some of this that maybe hadn't been through it before, and share some energy and some things, some kindness, some gratitude to, again, help us all get better and help us all get through these times and get better through life, whatever it is. So again, if you're going through tough times right now, you have my energy coming your way. Reach out if you need to. If I can be of any assistance, I'll do the best I can to help or refer you to where I can. But always keep in mind the storm will pass. And at the other side, there's clear skies. Things will open up. Take the time to repair, rebuild, and reflect. Whatever order works for you, but reflect on what happened, put plans in place for the next time, clean up anything that maybe didn't work so well, repair things that maybe kind of worked but not like you had hoped, make those adjustments, and then be ready for the next time something like this comes up. Again, it could be identical, it could be a totally different storm that might enter your life. But the more we can look at the forecast, be prepared, and reflect on the outcome, kind of have like an after action sort of report, and then reevaluate and re-prepare for the next time, we can move forward and always keep growing and ascending till the end, like we like to say here, and be ready for those. And then hopefully the next time we're not impacted as much because we've put better steps in place. We've made those changes to what didn't work last time. We've kept the things that worked the last time. Maybe we tweak them a bit if they need it. And then we're ready for that next round, that next event. Again, people have said that it's not if, but when something like the pandemic hits us again. So if so, what can we do to be better prepared? What can we do? We know how to work from home now. What can we do to be better prepared for that? What can we do to make sure we're taking good care of ourselves now while we exit, hopefully, this other pandemic, or at least learn to live with it so that we're not hit as hard the next time? Don't wait until it's too late. Put the steps in now to get ready. Don't wait until the storm hits you to try to batten down the hatches and tie up your furniture and get the supplies from the store. Look ahead. Listen to the forecast. Look ahead to what's coming. Plan and prepare so you're ready for it, so you can weather the storm as much as possible and to continue on living your best life, your best version of yourself as you go forward. And just as we wrap up here, yeah, Nads, it was nice when the boy was so happy. I get an awe. Practice complimenting at least one person a day. It'll change your life for sure. So not only will it change someone else's life, giving them that compliment, it'll change yours. Because again, you'll fill up your bucket. We've talked about before, filling your bucket by filling other people's buckets. You fill them with positivity, they're going to give you that positivity back, and you're going to feel good from doing it. So a great challenge there laid down by Natty. Practice complimenting at least one person a day. So I encourage you to try that. Be conscious of it. Be aware of at least one person a day. If it's someone you know that maybe is a little more comfortable for you to compliment. But again, maybe if you're in a situation at a Starbucks or at a grocery store or whatever, maybe you can pay the person helping you a compliment, or someone you pass in the aisles. Maybe you can offer them a compliment. Someone you sit close to on the bus. Maybe you can pay them a compliment. Think of something, even something that's have a nice day. I hope you have a nice day is a bit of a compliment and some kindness for them. It doesn't have to be maybe too personal if you're not comfortable with that. You pick and choose your environments and what's good for you, but something as simple as I hope you have a great day is a compliment to someone, and a well wishes, which can make them hopefully help have a great day. Squishes me, yeah, very true, definitely. It's something again, as Bonnie mentioned and Nad's mentioned here too. Kindness is free. It's easy to pass on. It's easy to spread. And it doesn't take really a lot of effort on our part. Being kind, hopefully it's human nature that we're kind and happy and polite to people. But common sense isn't always common practice, as our pal Brennan Burchard says. So maybe we need to make complimenting common practice. Challenge yourself. Try to get one person a day at least a compliment. Whether it's in person, maybe you send someone a nice text. Miss you, thinking about you. That's a compliment. If you can see them in person, that'll be good. They'll feel good. You'll feel good for them feeling good. And again, that's that positivity pandemic. It's getting that good energy and that good light out there as well. And yes, Bonnie, I'm just going to pop in. Bonnie says, but don't forget yourself as well, for sure. So compliment yourself. Compliment yourself. I look good today. I love this. This hat is nice on me. Be kind to yourself. Don't be kind to everybody else and then belittle yourself and put yourself down. Think positive thoughts, positive energy. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself that gratitude. Express gratitude to yourself for the things you're getting done. Appreciate yourself for the accomplishments you have made. Celebrate them. I just made dinner before PatFacts. Good job, me. I made dinner. I got dinner done. I got it ready, and I still got here mostly on time. On time for me, I guess, for these. But so I'm going to celebrate that. I'm going to accomplish a good accomplishment for me. I got a few things done today that I wanted to get done. I want to take some time to celebrate those, either after them if we can, to acknowledge them, or maybe at the end of the day. We journal, we write things down. Maybe that's when we acknowledge ourselves, or we're talking with a friend or a loved one. Hey, I got this done today. I was trying to get this task done for a while. Finally got through it today. Felt so nice to finish it, finally complete it. Again, express that gratitude and celebrate yourself as well. And coming back to that with what Nat said, start your day with 3 things you're grateful for. So we did this a bit, and we'll probably do it again in October. Let's just throw it out there now. Let's do it now. Let's start now. Today's the 28th of September. Thanksgiving is the 10th of October. It's in a couple weeks. So if you need to get your plans ready, get them set up. Let's start our gratitude challenge. So Thanksgiving is coming. We give thanks on that day for the blessings we have, everything going on in our life. Let's start that every day from now until then. I want to challenge you to do a gratitude challenge. 3 things you're grateful for every day. And you can pick. You can start your day with that. You can end your day with that. You can do both. Whatever works for you. Think of something you can successfully do. When are you the most maybe motivated or productive, or when do you have a bit of time you can make to do this? But I want you to think of 3 things you're grateful for. You know what? I'll even say 1 thing you're grateful for every day. If this is something really new to you, even pick 1 thing you're grateful for every day. But I want you to think of what you're grateful for, and then I want you to express that gratitude. Or think of why you're grateful for that. So if you're grateful for your friend that picks you up every morning, think of that. And then why are you grateful? Why did that pop into your mind? And this is something I do with yoga classes and things where we're trying to do a little bit of a mindfulness or meditation. It's great to think of our gratitude, but let's work on expressing the gratitude. Let's put it out there, even if they're not here. If we can, let's maybe send them a message, give them a call, write them a note and say, hey, thanks, thinking of you. Thanks for doing this for me because da 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 da. And then again, that's kindness for them. That fills their bucket. That's that compliment that Nats was talking about. Then you'll feel better. But I want us to be aware of our gratitude. Think of it, but think of why. Get to the root of why did that feeling come up for me? Why did that person come to mind when I thought of gratitude? Or why did that moment or that event, why did that pop up, I wonder? Oh, because of this. Then again, it gives you an idea of gratitude. It gives you a practice of gratitude, a familiarity with gratitude. So then you can recognize it when something comes up and you get that feeling, oh, this just happened. I'm so grateful this just happened to me. Maybe you don't have to do it at the end of the day or the start of the day, which is still good, but maybe in the moment you can express that gratitude and actually feel it and appreciate it for what it's worth. Bonnie says, yes, grateful for life. So true, Bonnie. That's the biggest one to be grateful for. We're grateful for our life, our health, friends, family, loved ones, your job, pets, food, whatever it is. It could be anything. There's no right or wrong answer. So don't stress out about it. Just whatever comes in your mind. And it could even be similar answers day to day or every couple of days. That's okay. Still work through it and think about it. So that's your challenge for you. We'll kind of check in with this as we go. Our gratitude challenge. I was going to start it in the next week or so and do it the week before, but what the heck? We're all eager people here. So if you're watching on the recording, that's okay. Whenever you see this, start. Challenge yourself for a couple of weeks. We're going to go from the 28th of September. Start tonight, maybe before you go to bed, or again after PatFacts. Take a second to think about what you're grateful for, and then start each day. Put a plan in place. When am I going to express my gratitude? When am I going to take part in the gratitude challenge? And I'd love to hear from you. Give me a post on my wall, on social media, tag me, DM me. whatever the case be. I'd love to hear from what some of your gratitudes are. And let's check in each week with how things are going, and we'll bring that back in. And again, be mindful of it. Don't just think about it to do it. Think about what's going on and think about why the gratitude's there, so you can really familiarize yourself with that. Thanks, Bonnie. Great. Always awesome to see you here. Again, don't forget your gold star in your chart for being the first one in. We'll see you next week. Yeah, and Natty is right here. The why is so important. So for a lot of what we do, we kind of do it, or we go through it, or we know we have to. But sometimes if we think about why we're doing it, it can bring a new perspective or a new energy to it, or a new discipline to it, to help you get through it more. So think about why you're doing. Be conscious and aware of what you're doing. If you're writing down your food, think about maybe why you ate, what you did for breakfast, or why you had that snack, or think about how you felt after you had that good, healthy meal, or that lots of water during the day, how that made you feel. Or maybe you had a few too many chips after dinner. How did that make you feel? Be aware and be mindful of yourself. Be mindful when you're working out. One of my main coaching points as a fitness coach and wellness coach is be present. Think about what you're doing. Think of the muscles you're trying to use and the movements you're trying to create. Don't just go through the motions of doing whatever exercise. Just because I'm showing it or demoing it, you'll get more benefit out of the workout. You'll de-stress even more, and you'll build a strong mind-body connection with good mindfulness, and that will help you in other areas of your life. And for a lot of us, the why we're doing something really brings home the goal. You can set a goal, but if you don't know the why behind it, it's just kind of out there. But if you really sit and dig deep and know your why am I actually looking to lose 5 pounds? Why do I want to run a faster 10K? Why do I want to learn French through the work program? Why am I really doing this? When you hit that real reason, that real why, your motivation goes up, your inspiration goes up, your discipline goes up. And it's a great reminder when you're feeling sluggish and off track, or these storms try to wash through and wash everything out, your motivation and your discipline away. You bring back your why, and that is almost like that eye of the storm where things are clear and calm, and you can refocus and you can weather through this. And this too shall pass, and you can get through it and get on to that next step. Yeah, sure, Natty, go ahead. So that's it for tonight, gang. Again, I just wanted to take the inspiration, the example I've seen from the East Coast after they've dealt with the hardship of Hurricane Fiona. And I thought it was just a great reminder for all of us to go through, and it turned into some great conversations with you guys, which I always love as well. One quick reminder, still raising funds for the Terry Fox committee for my group. So run.terryfox.ca/team/POYBFit, or it is in the links to the shows as well. We'll see you next week, everyone. Again, thanks to everyone on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Appreciate you guys all being here. I love the support, love the community we have. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, take care. Remember, always make yourself the priority that you deserve to be by striving to be operationally fit. Have a great week, guys.